Maybe look away.
Variety of things in the direction of protecting tinatnan ng katotohanan. Ang katotohanan magdamang a million Filipinos more humanitarian situation and speak with Claire, emergency coordinator for Doctors Without Borders in Gaza. Claire, as we just had laid out by my colleague John Donaldson there are no easy decisions and no good options for the Palestinians in Gaza City, are there? No, there is nowhere safe and no easy decisions. It's absolutely heartbreaking because I talk to these staff every single day and they don't want to leave their homes, of course, but they also don't want to leave the hospitals and the clinics. And they tell me, we can't let our fellow Palestinians die. We need to stay here and keep working, even though we know that we might be killed or even our children will be killed in the coming days. But we have no choice but to stay and do what we can to help them. Yeah, I know you've been to Gaza as well yourself. Just tell us how things have deteriorated since then. Well, I left Gaza 3 months ago, and I'm outraged because back then we knew it was the plan of the Israeli forces to come in and we were powerless to stop it, though we spoke out. Now we reached the limit of the medical assistance that we can provide. It's now in the hands of political leaders to stop this genocide because medical aid is impossible to deliver safely. Yeah, and other aid agencies like yourselves have been making the point that the areas in the south of Gaza where Israel is wanting Palestinians to go to is not exactly a safe haven. No, and it's not a humanitarian zone. The Israeli authorities have called it a concentration zone, which I'm terrified to think what would happen in that zone once all Palestinians are in there. But there is no safe water to drink, there is not enough food, and there is no way you can call it a humanitarian zone when there is nothing humane about it. Everyone is suffering and they are dying of lack of food and all the other causes being bombed continually, even in these safe areas. And what would be the implications then if large, even more numbers of the Palestinian population are to move south? Just talk us through what the situation would be like on the ground. Well, I fear that when everyone is in one place together, it is not just the natural causes of disease and lack of water that will be killing the innocent civilians, but they will also become a target by the Israeli forces. And when I was there, I would see repeatedly that it's the civilians being targeted, the hospitals being targeted, and it goes against all the reasons that the Israeli authorities have given for attacking Gaza. It makes no sense. And tell us what the health workers that are there now in Gaza, what they're going through, members of your own organisation, Doctors Without Borders. It's an absolute nightmare because the infections that we're seeing for the trauma cases and the burns from the children that are being bombed in their homes are manifesting with a lot of disease and they're rotting away. So our supplies are still at the border. They've been there since March. We have all the painkillers that we need and all the antiseptic, the sterile gauze, and we cannot access it. So we're just having to watch people die. Yeah, Claire, it must be an incredibly painful situation for you to be working on this. Just what would be the message then to those that are watching at home in ways that they can perhaps help? I want people to know that because it's a war of popular opinion, that they need to stand up and keep raising their voices. Don't feel overwhelmed and like you cannot do anything to help. Because the louder that you cry out, then the world leaders, they will take action. So please don't stop. Claire, we have to leave it there, but thank you thank you so much for speaking to me today about the dire situation in Gaza and in Gaza City in particular. Claire Manera, there, Emergency Coordinator for Doctors Without Borders in Gaza. We're going to take a short break now, but I'll be back shortly with all the business news on Business Today. See you soon.
Hello there. We've just recently seen a storm pulling away from Luzon, and it's intensifying as it moves its way across the South China Sea, expected to potentially make landfall around Hong Kong in the next few days. We'll keep a close eye on that. Shower clouds are being picked up on the satellite picture to the south of that. To the north of that, we've got some intense showers, particularly across northern areas of China, moving into the Korean Peninsula. That will gradually push its way over into parts of Japan as well. So some heavy rain for Hong Kong, perhaps by Friday. Some sharp showers into Vietnam, North Thailand, as you'd expect as well. Some pretty intense showers generally through Malaysia and Indonesia. It's going to stay quite unsettled across the Philippines too. So further sharp showers for Manila over the next few days. The rain will gradually start to ease from Hong Kong into the early half of next week. As for Australia, well, we've still got a lot of dry weather through Western and Northern Territories at the moment. Some sharp showers just drifting their way east, and down to Victoria we'll see some wetter and windier weather. That's also impacting Tasmania. But it stays pretty unsettled from time to time for New Zealand. We've seen some sharp showers for both North and South Island. North Island certainly seeing some on Friday. A slightly quieter story into the weekend generally. So we'll keep those sharp showers going in Hobart.
This is frontier country. Broaden your horizons.
If this is what being a 21st century nomad is all about, sign me up.
Caribbean's relationship with the seas are changing and deepen your understanding. What must it have been like for them, not knowing whether they were going to make it? How important is this region?
If something starts changing here, we see the change all over the world.
This is just incredible. The Travel Show on BBC News.
Based here in Singapore, the Newsday team is in the perfect place to keep you up to date with the latest global breaking news. Whether the sun is rising or setting on your day, we'll bring you all the information that you need to help make sense of what's happening around the world. Join me, P.Gloiser, from Singapore for Newsday on BBC News.
It's better than you were made as a flying car.
This is not your typical car. It's the food of the future. A highly secure facility that monitors foreign governments' attempts to destabilize democracy.
Why are we still sitting in business for this task?
The idea is to learn more about how volcanoes behave so that we can better predict eruptions. This is a prime location for big companies to show us their latest products.
Upwards going and have a look. Using technology, distribution is now 98% efficient. This is the potential of electric power in the marine industry. Can we fire it up? What's in front of the doors behind her? No one can hear you scream. I better not touch it anymore. This is one of the most incredible things I've ever done.
I got it.
Yeah. Check now on BBC News.
Live from Singapore, on BBC News, Business Today.
If you forgot your pajamas, Emirates Football Republic.
US Central Bank is finally cut interest rates for the first time this year, in growing signs of weakness in the labour market. The boss of tech giant Nvidia, Jensen Huang, speaks to the BBC on the importance of AI and the equal access to it. And Meta unveiled its newest AI-powered smart glasses. We'll have more on what it can do with our tech correspondent, Louis Clark. Hello and welcome.
April, they cut rates twice more this year. And this is the Fed's first cut since December last year. It puts the target range for its main lending rate between 4 and 4.25%. And that's what the Chair Jerome Powell before.
I feel like our policy has been doing the right thing so far this year. I think we were right to wait and see how tariffs and inflation and the labor market evolve. I think we're now reacting to the much lower level of job creation and other evidence of softening in the labor market and saying, well, those risks are maybe not fully balanced, but moving in a direction that's balanced now, and so that warrants a change in policy.
The last time the Fed cut rates was in December last year, where inflation was the same as it is currently at 2.9%. While that's above the Fed's target of 2%, it is a sharp dip from its peak in June of 2022. But while inflation has eased, the Fed is grappling with weakness in the labor market, with only 22,000 positions added in August, and that's sharply lower to the 323,000 added in December of last year. Meanwhile, jobless claims have also surged to 263,000 in the first week of September, which is the highest since October of 2021. Now, I spoke to Nellie Young, former Undersecretary of the Treasury for Domestic Finance, and I asked her how rate cuts fit with the current picture of the labor market and inflation.
I think they see that they are waiting for more data to come in, especially on prices. So as you mentioned, they've seen some prices rising, some because of tariffs, but because of, say, the softer labor market, the effects of that are not showing through to the economy, to the broader economy. But there is uncertainty. I think the FOMC, Chair Powell and the FOMC want to be sure that any tariff effects remain a one-time shift and do not feed into inflation and become persistent. So I think as data come in, they will adjust.
The boss of tech giant NVIDIA says he is disappointed that China has reportedly ordered its top technology companies to hold purchases of the firm's artificial intelligence chips. Jensen Huang says the U.S. needs to make sure that people can access this technology from all over the world, including China. He is one of a number of tech bosses accompanying President Trump on his state visit to the UK and making a series of investments in AI infrastructure there. He spoke to our economics editor, Faisal Islam.
President Trump is very clear he wants America to win. And President Xi wants China to win. And it's possible for both of them to. I think that for America to win the technology, to win the AI race particularly, it's important that, and President Trump sees it clearly, it's important that all AI companies, that all AI research is built on the American tech stack. And so if you would like America to be the global standard of technology, just as we're the global standard of currency, the US dollar, then you need to make sure that people can access this technology from all over the world, including China.
Can you speak to young people, inspired by all leadership, and they get the AI doing, but some of them stay in the law, accountancy, creative industries here in the UK, and start with the people who's been taken by AI before the new talks come along. What would you advise them straight up about what they do? Go into it.
AI will change everyone's job. It's changed my job. And so everyone's job will be changed. Some tasks will be eliminated. Some new tasks will be added. And everybody's jobs will change. The most important thing is to realize that there's no replacement for the meta skills, the critical thinking, the learning how to learn, how to engage in relationships and make compromises, how to inspire teamwork. All of those cognitive skills are essential in the future, and they're more important than ever. And AI will just be one of your teammates. I think the most important thing is to realize they're not, some tasks don't, to realize the difference between tasks and jobs. Every job has a lot of tasks. Many of those tasks will be eliminated, and some new tasks will come about. And with respect to jobs, you're not likely to lose your job to AI. You're likely to lose your job to someone who uses AI.
What was studying, if you answer me more?
I was studying math, science. I was studying all the same things that we studied when we were growing up, and I would just make sure that I use AI to be better at it.
Mark Zuckerberg has unveiled 3 new models of Meta's latest AI-powered smart glasses. One of them is a tie-up with Ray-Ban, containing a small digital display that can be controlled with hand gestures through a wristband powered by neural technology. And they come with a price tag of $799 US. And Meta also unveiled a new pair of Oakley-branded sunglasses or glasses called the Vanguard, aimed at athletes and priced a little lower at $499. Our tech correspondent Louise Riley was at the event and tested it. We got a chance to test out the glasses.
Here at Meta Connect, boss Mark Zuckerberg is doubling down on AI-powered smart glasses like these. These are the Meta Oakley Houstons. These retail for about $400 US, and they have Meta AI integrated into them. So I can ask it questions just like I could with any chatbot. I can ask it to play podcasts or play songs. It has a number of speakers on this piece of hardware here. I can also take a photo or capture video at the click of a button or on command, and I can live stream to Meta's various social media platforms, which include, of course, Instagram and Facebook. I spoke with a Meta executive about this push deeper into AI-powered smart glasses. He said they've already gotten pretty good traction in the smart glass market. They're not releasing numbers, but the BBC understands that they have so far sold about 2 million smart glass units. And at the keynote that CEO Mark Zuckerberg just gave, he referred to AI as the most important technology of our time. The company has invested heavily into AI infrastructure and also set off a talent war for artificial intelligence researchers here in Silicon Valley.
Manchester United has recorded its highest revenues in the club's history last season, despite not competing in the Champions League. Yet still posted a 6th consecutive annual loss. And despite the record turnover last season, the club expects to drop in income this season. Tim Harcourt is the chief economist at the University of Technology, Sydney, and the host of Footynomics, the economics of sport. He breaks it all down for us.
Red Devil is in the detail, Steve. I mean, they are making losses, but they're at record revenue. And when you think about it, even though they're not even in the Champions League, they've still got a more successful revenue performance than many of that Sir Alex Ferguson did in making them very successful in their heyday, has basically built that reputation to give them enough financial buffer on their balance sheet to get through the lean times.
Yeah, it seems like the shadow that Sir Alex Ferguson on the pitch, though, still hangs over their current form. They've made a lot of unpopular cuts over the last year, though. Those seem to be paying off. I mean, I'm talking about things like losing 300 staff, for example.
No, that's right. They've actually said that they're going to undergo significant restructuring. On the other hand, they are investing, of course. They've got the new training grounds, state-of-the-art facilities, and the new stadium that they've got planned. So they are investing as well. And in some ways, some things like merchandise, 43% of their revenue. So the broadcast rights matter. The gate's important, but not as important. But the enormous branding, the merchandising that they do in Asia.
Yeah. So Tim, just to get to this next question, does it not matter then how they perform on the pitch? They have such a big fan base at the moment that it seems to be sort of self-sustaining.
Oh, it certainly helps. It's better to have it than not. And there's 1.1 billion United fans. It's a large country in a sense, but in the end it catches up on you, because if you keep making losses and you perform badly, then that impacts your ability to buy players. So I think they think they're going to be in a financial position to acquire more talent and try and improve a bit on the playing field.
Now, before we go, Jerry from Ben & Jerry's has left the company almost half a century after co-founding it. Jerry Greenfield said the ice cream maker lost its independence, accusing its parent company Unilever of halting its social activism. Ben & Jerry's has long taken a stance on social issues, backing campaigns on issues like climate change and most recently Gaza. A spokesperson for the Magnum Ice Cream Company, which is being spun off from Unilever, said it was grateful to Jerry but disagreed with his stance. That's it for today's edition of Business Day. See you again tomorrow.
You want to talk business? Meet me in the Old World Lounge. This is for those who move. Those who don't wait for things to happen. They make them happen. Those who don't ask permission to dream. They don't follow maps. They draw them. And build what isn't there. They don't call it instinct. They call it Tuesday. Because they know the world doesn't wait. And luck? It's just another word for I moved first. At Standard Chartered, we're here for those who never stand still, who want trusted expertise in the world's most dynamic markets. Now is your time.
Thousands of people have come here to the Centre of Souls this evening. They have come to celebrate the newly elected president, E.J. Young.
He's been firing rubber bullets in the direction of the crowd, and it shows you just how volatile the situation is.
We're seeing scenes of destruction like this one across Mandalay, and the reality on the ground is there just aren't enough airs and hands.
And the scale of the attacks we've seen over the past 48 hours, it doesn't feel like we're in ceasefire territory.
There when the story breaks. BBC News. The news never sleeps, even when you do. A ceasefire is being called. The president is being overthrown. And trials of the new cancer drugs show promise. But rest, knowing you can catch up in your own time. The Global News Broadcast brings you the stories you need to hear every day. Listen wherever you get your BBC podcasts.
As the conflict here in the Middle East continues, we'll bring you the latest on Israel's military operations, the humanitarian situation in Gaza, and diplomatic moves across the region and around the world. Join me, Lucy Williamson, for all the latest here on BBC News.
Donald Trump is back in the UK for a second unprecedented state visit, with the red carpet being rolled out by the King and Queen here at Windsor Castle. And against a backdrop of global unrest, there'll be plenty for him and Keir Starmer to discuss when they meet on Thursday. All the latest on BBC News.
As deadlines for Russia to end its invasion continue to expire without consequence, is President Trump still dedicated to peace in Ukraine? Can Europe help out on its own? And what about the people of Ukraine? Our team are here to answer your questions. Join me, Lucy Hawkins, for Ukraine Plus on BBC News. My dad was a farmer, but he also had a radio talk show for farmers who called in with their farming problems. He patiently listened to every conflicting account of what was and wasn't working. That was really influential to how I approached my journalism. Building trust by taking the time to understand the situation clearly before reporting a story. So 24-hour news cycle, patience can be so frustrating, but it's a crucial tool. I'm Lucy Hawkins on BBC News Now.
On BBC News, a roundup of the day's sporting action, plus talking points, analysis and original journalism. BBC Sport.
Hello there, I'm Will Perry. Welcome to the BBC Sports Centre. There's a Liverpool debut for Alexander Isak as they get off to a dramatic winning start in the Champions League.
Jake Whiteman secures Great Britain's long-awaited first medal at the World Athletics Championships. And the bad blood is back as Eubank Jr. and Ben build up to their November grudge rematch. Welcome along, good to have you with us. What a night at Anfield. Alexander Isak made that long-awaited Liverpool debut as they beat Atletico Madrid 3-2 with an injury-time winner from their captain, Virgil van Dijk, in that opening Champions League game of the season. Liverpool found themselves 2-0 up after just 6 minutes with Andy Robertson and Mo Salah amongst the goals. Marcus Llorente then scored twice at Anfield for the second time in a row, having done exactly that in 2020 before Virgil van Dijk's late header sealed the points for the birthday boy, Arne Slot.
Second year in a row that I have to celebrate my birthday on a Champions League night, and the second time in a row that the players gave me a nice present. Because we won them both, but I would like to ask the UEFA next year I can celebrate my birthday with my friends and family. Yeah, another great night here in Anfield. I think this is where the format is about. This is what the UEFA probably wanted to have already the first game in the group stage. That could have been a quarter-final, semi-final, last 16 game.
Elsewhere, Chelsea were beaten 3-1 away at Bayern Munich with former Spurs striker Harry Kane at the double. A Trevor Chalobah own goal and a Kane penalty gave Bayern a 2-0 lead before Cole Palmer pulled one back in the first half. And then Kane scored his 10th goal in 6 games so far for Bayern this season to secure the win.
I'm happy with the performance because we knew how difficult it was to come here against this team. So we knew that was a very tough game, difficult game. But overall, I think we competed very well. The first 20 minutes again, we didn't concede nothing. We created 2-3 clear chances. And then we conceded the goal and changed the play, but even with that, we were in the game until the end.
Every single time the question comes about Harry, I don't have much to say about all the things that everyone can see. The main thing I can say is just watch him work off the ball. Watch him press, watch him help the team, watch him recover. The chances we create, so the goal plus the penalty. You know, he's first got to get back on side, he's first got to press, then get back on side, then from there he starts his moment, and of course the main thing for him is that if he spends that much energy, it's that he gets the reward and he gets the chances off the back of it.
The defending champions Paris Saint-Germain got the defence of their title off to an impressive start, beating Atalanta by 4-0. Marquinhos and Vitor Kvaratskhelia on the score sheet for Luis Enrique's side in the first half, with Nuno Mendes and Gonzalo Ramos adding 2 after the break. So this is how the 6 games finished in the Champions League on Wednesday. Inter Milan, 2-0 winners at Ajax. Marcus Thuram with a brace in that one. Slavia Prague kicked off their campaign with a 2-2 draw at home to Bodo Glimt, who scored a last-minute equaliser in that one. And Olympiacos were held to a goalless draw by the Champions League debutants Paphos, who were down to 10 men after just 25 minutes. Attention now, of course, turns to Thursday, doesn't it, with Manchester City hosting the reigning Serie A champions Napoli in their group stage opener. Pep Guardiola will host a very familiar face in the City legend Kevin De Bruyne, who after a decade at the club moved to Italy in the summer, and Guardiola's not surprised at all at just how quickly he settled.
It's not surprised. Players in that level adapt so quick. The players in that level, they don't need much time to adapt to him. And perform well. His incredible talent, vision, pass, assist, goals in the final third is unique. Of course, it's nice to hit him back.
A huge game for Newcastle, who host Barcelona at St James's Park. It's 22 years on from their last meeting, and the Newcastle captain Bruno Guimaraes is looking forward to facing a club he has plenty of respect for.
Yeah, very excited. Never faced Barcelona before. It's one of the teams that I watched when I was young, and was the player that made me feel in love with football was Ronaldinho. So I always watch Barcelona play. And after Iniesta, Xavi, Messi, and nice to see another Brazilian shine there again, Rafinha. So I think we're very excited. I can't wait to get tomorrow and play this game.
What I have from my player, it's one of the best, maybe the best atmosphere here in the Premier League. And I expect really a strong team, tall team, with high intensity, with a lot of dynamic. To go in the second balls vertically, they are playing really good. So it's a team now that built over the last years, and Eddie Howe really and his coaching staff made a fantastic job.
So 6 more games to look forward to on Thursday. Club Brugge at home to Monaco.
Said I love you, but I lie.
Passerine face a trip to Frankfurt and Cairo. The team from Kazakhstan knocked out Celtic in
Said I love you,
Sporting.
but I
And
lie.
Postecoglou thought he had his first win as Nottingham Forest boss, with his side throwing away a 2-goal lead at Swansea in the 3rd round of the League Cup. Forest, who were comfortably beaten by Arsenal in the Australians' first game back in the Premier League, conceded in the 93rd and 97th minute to lose 3-2 in South Wales. Now, he's been out of work for less than a month, but Jose Mourinho says he is close to becoming Benfica's new head coach after arriving in Lisbon for talks. It comes after Bruno Lage was sacked following Tuesday's Champions League home defeat against Karabakh. Mourinho, who was dismissed by Fenerbahce in August, began his managerial career with Benfica in 2000, but only took charge of 10 games after a dispute with the then club president. Jake Whiteman says that his silver medal at the 1500 metres at the World Athletics Championships feels like a gold, having struggled with injuries and missing the last 2 major championships. Portugal's Isa Nada picked him to gold by 200ths of a second in a thrilling finish here in Tokyo. His British teammate Josh Kerr's title defence was scuppered by a calf injury in that dramatic final. Whiteman becoming world champion in 2022, but it's been a difficult journey since
Said I love you, but I lie.
All I knew today was I was going to run to try and win, and whether that got me the win, whether that got me second, third, however high up, I'd just be happy I walked away with it. But when you come that close to winning it, you can't help but be a little bit, oh, what if I'd have tried a bit more, but I left everything out there. And honestly, it's been a very, very bleak couple of years for me. I think a lot of times I doubt myself, even now I get back to this level.
Well, Whiteman again had the unique experience of having his dad, Jeff, commentate on his race inside the stadium in Tokyo.
My last message to him was, you never know when these opportunities are going to come around again. You know, we had 3 Scots in there, it happened 6 years ago, it may never happen again. You've got to absolutely make hay while the sun shines. And it's Jake's achievement as well. You know, Susan and I are just very proud and, you know, enjoying the moment with him.
And finally, will you get to see his medal ceremony tomorrow, or will you maybe here again?
I'll be calling his medal ceremony tomorrow, so I'll have to, you know, just keep a step up with him for that.
Italy's Mattia Polani jumped a personal best of 8.39 metres to become long jump world champion. The 20-year-old adding to his world indoor title from earlier this year. The USA's Katie Boone picked up gold in the pole vault. She became the first woman to win 3 successive pole vault titles at the World Championships. Kenyan Faith Cherotich set a championship record to win the women's 3,000 metres steeplechase. The Kenyan got the better of the Olympic champion Wilfred Yabi to claim the gold. Phil Salt spearheaded England's charge to victory on a high-scoring day in their first T20 against Ireland in Dublin. Jacob Bethel, England's youngest ever captain, won the toss, put Ireland into bat. But England struggled to contain the home side with a 123-run partnership between Harry Chapter and Lorcan Tucker, helping Ireland set an impressive 196 for 3. However, having scored 304 in their last T20, England were undaunted and set about their chase. Salt leading the way with 89 off just 46 balls as England reached their target with more than 2 overs remaining to win by 4 wickets. And Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn went head-to-head for the first time ahead of their rematch in November. Eubank Jr. won the first fight in April by unanimous decision at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is where the second bout will take place as well. Ben was, there you can see on the right, wearing a Manchester City shirt to honour the late Mickey Hatton, and he's seeking revenge after that points loss 5 months ago.
Listen, I mean, it's always a hard process in a loss. Nobody
prepares to lose. You know, as fighters, we want to do our best, but ultimately we want to get a victory at all costs. You know, it's taught me a lot. It's taught me a lot about myself. I want to go back to the drawing board and work and learn, gain experience, and experience was gained. So no doubt that when the 15th, you get a better version.
And you can get all the latest sports news on the BBC app or from our website. That's bbc.com/sport. For me, Will Perry, and the rest of the team here at the BBC Sports Centre. Goodbye. The truth is under attack. This video is distorted and heavily edited. They use propaganda as much as they use weapons.
So just believe whatever they see.
Information is manipulated.
Wake up, guys.
Media can be toxic.
There are some things will have you believe that it's fake news.
More than 70% of countries don't have a free media. BBC Media Action is the BBC's international charity. With over 400 media partners, we reach nearly 100 million people each year. We train journalists to report accurately and impartially in 30 countries and in more than 50 languages.
Providing truthful information.
To tackle disinformation,
We will pursue the truth. Making local media more resilient has never been more important. Support BBC Media Action in the pursuit of truth.
In a world where media is evolving faster than ever before,
Where stories are shared in bite-sized portions.
influencers change minds.
And news arrives in an instant.
We hear from media insiders on their perspective on the world.
And uncover the story behind the latest trends. Join us for the Media Show on BBC News.
Talking Movement is your ticket to all things film. From red carpets to the biggest film festivals, get behind-the-scenes insights into the most talked-about films, speaking directly to the creators and stars shaping the art of cinema. We celebrate the Hollywood hits and indie gems during award season. So join me, Tom Brooks, for your front row seat to the world of film. Talking Movies, now showing
Okay, bye bye.